Hi, my name is Wendy Guthro. I'm an attorney licensed to practice in both Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And today we are going to talk about revocable versus an irrevocable trust. First of all, the trust is simply a container that we create that's going to hold assets eventually. One of the main purposes people use trust is to avoid probate. A second reason is to have a place to store assets for asset protection. But back to the difference between a revocable versus an irrevocable trust. If we create a container, and in this container, we state on it that you are the grantor of the trust, meaning that you are going to grant your assets into the trust. And you are the trustee, meaning that you are in charge of the trust and have to follow the directions written on the trust. And you are also the beneficiary of the trust. You get any of the income generated from the assets that are held in the trust, and you are also the owner of the principal of the assets, such as a $100,000 bank account. You are entitled to the $100,000 as well as the interest or income that is earned off of that trust asset principal during its stay in that trust. So if you have a revocable trust, you are the grantor, you are the trustee, and you are the beneficiary. You can change the trust at any time. You can revoke the trust. You can change who the beneficiaries are. You can change who the trustees are. So you have a lot of flexibility. The main use from an estate planning perspective that trusts are used for is to create it, fund it with your bank accounts, brokerage accounts, real estate assets, and that any assets that you put into that trust during your lifetime or upon your passing will avoid probate. But if you really want to avoid probate, you want to fund your trust during your lifetime, not upon your passing. Now, that is a revocable trust because it can be changed and revoked. There is no asset protection planning associated with a revocable trust. Conversely, with an irrevocable trust, now you do have some asset protection planning. I'm going to speak specifically about using an irrevocable trust or an irrevocable trust setting for Medicaid asset protection planning in the event you need to go to a nursing home. What you do is you still create that same container. You are the grantor still because you are going to be creating this container and granting your assets into the container. You are not the trustee because you are not in control of the assets that are in that trust any longer. And you are the income beneficiary of that trust at times, but you are not the principal beneficiary. Therefore, in the revocable trust, you could get at the principal $100,000 as well as any income or interest earned off of that. In an irrevocable trust, you cannot get at that underlying $100,000 principal. You can get at the income generated off it, but that's it. Because oftentimes with an irrevocable trust, we are trying to start the current 5-year Medicaid look-back period on assets that you are divesting yourself of. So to divest yourself of an asset so that on paper it appears that you are no longer the owner of that asset, you need to first create this irrevocable trust, put your assets that you want to protect and divest yourself of into the irrevocable trust, give up ownership of them, except for the income generated off of them, start the 5-year look-back period. So when and if you need to go into a nursing home and you're going to be asking the government to step in and pick up your nursing home bill, and they ask you on the application, do you own this asset? You can truthfully answer, no, you do not own it. And have you given away any assets in the previous 5 years? No, I maybe gave the asset into the irrevocable trust 5 years and 1 day ago, but in the previous 5 years, I have not given away any assets into an irrevocable trust or to anyone else for that matter. So, revocable trust, you keep control of the assets, you're in charge, you can revoke it, amend it, change it. no asset protection planning, but it's great at avoiding probate, versus a irrevocable trust that is oftentimes used for Medicaid asset protection planning. You have to keep in mind that there's a look back period where you have to divest yourself of your assets by creating the irrevocable trust that cannot be amended, changed, or altered or revoked, right? So you can't do any of those things, and you're putting your assets into it, and you're only putting assets in there that you are ready and willing to divest yourself of to start the look back period, and know that if you need to go into a nursing home after the look back period and you put those assets in, that they will not be considered countable assets on a Medicaid application. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, you can contact our office at office@guthrolaw.com or 781-229-0555. Our website also has a lot of information on it that could assist you, and that is guthrolaw.com. Thank you very much.
If you would like help or have questions about this information, please give us a call at 781-229-0555 or visit our website at guthrolaw.com. We look forward to hearing from you.